Jungkook secretly supports Taehyung's Paris trip. Did his hidden like just expose their bond? It started with a whisper, then grew into the kind of frenzy only BTS could ignite. Fans scrolling late at night noticed something so small, so fleeting, yet so explosive it sent shockwaves through social media. Jungkook, the youngest of BTS, seemed to leave a subtle trace of support for Taehyung's Paris trip, an action so discreet it almost felt like an accident.
But was it?
Or was this a carefully placed signal, a quiet message that didn't need words? The speculation ignited when eagle-eyed armies spotted a suspicious, tied to Paris Fashion Week updates that highlighted Taehyung's presence in the City of Lights. Within minutes, screenshots began circulating with captions like, "Did Jungkook just show support for Taehyung?" and hidden exposed bond? The theories spread like wildfire, particularly among Taehyung fans who have long searched for moments, both subtle and dramatic, that reaffirm the closeness between the two. American outlets wasted no time picking up the chatter. News referred to the incident as the kind of blink-and-you-miss-it interaction that fuels fandom mythology, while BuzzFeed US noted, for fans, a single like can mean everything. In the world of BTS, where public actions are often guarded, a subtle gesture becomes a headline. What makes this even more fascinating is the context. Taehyung's Paris trip wasn't just a personal vacation. It coincided with high-profile appearances, brand engagements, and runway invitations that once again solidified his place as a rising fashion icon. For Jungkook to quietly engage with that narrative suggested more than just casual scrolling. To fans, it felt intentional. It felt like support. It felt like a bond stretching across cities and schedules. The timing couldn't have been more dramatic. Jungkook, fresh off his own global headlines in music and endorsements, appeared to step momentarily into the background. Not with words, not with grand gestures, but with something so minimal that it resonated louder than any statement. It was as if he was saying, "I see you, Taehyung. And I'm proud." Korean media framed it differently, calling it a rare digital breadcrumb between the two members whose friendship has always fascinated the public. Naver Entertainment described it as proof of an enduring bond, one that survives the distance of individual schedules and the weight of global expectations. Meanwhile, fashion outlets like WWD speculated that the small act underscored how BTS members support each other even as they carve out solo identities. Fans, of course, took it further. Taehyungers flooded Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram with emotional tributes, edits, and theories. Some argued that this wasn't just a like, it was a confirmation. A sign that behind the cameras, the interviews, and the brand deals, Jungkook and Taehyung maintain a connection that cannot be hidden, no matter how subtle. Others asked the question that now dominates fandom discourse. Was this Jungkook's way of protecting Taehyung, ensuring he knew he wasn't alone as the world's cameras focused on Paris? The mystery only deepened when Jungkook unliked, or perhaps never officially liked at all, depending on who you ask, leading to another wave of speculation. Did he remove it because he realized fans noticed? Was it a fleeting slip, or was it a deliberate breadcrumb designed to spark exactly the kind of conversation the world is having right now? And so the question lingers like a Parisian perfume in the air. In a world where every move is analyzed, can a single hidden like reveal the truest bond between two of the world's biggest stars? Or was it nothing at all, because with Jungkook and Taehyung, even silence feels like a story waiting to be told. The ARMY reaction was instant, raw, and global. Within hours of the hidden like discovery, Taehyung communities across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram turned what could have been a minor interaction into a worldwide discussion. For Taehyungers, this was not just a digital blip, it was validation, a whispered confirmation of something they've always believed, that Jungkook and Taehyung share a bond too deep, too real, to be hidden forever. Fans from the United States coined the phrase Paris-like to describe the moment, framing it as a symbolic gesture that tied Jungkook to Taehyung's Paris adventure. TikTok edits with the caption, "He sees him." He always sees him, racked up millions of views in hours, blending clips of Taehyung striding through the Parisian streets with Jungkook's fleeting interaction, as though destiny itself had linked the two. Meanwhile, Latin American Taehyungers turned emotional, tweeting in Spanish phrases like, El vinculo nunca muere, the bond never dies, while fans in France dubbed Jungkook's action like secret. The cross-cultural explosion revealed one truth. A single breadcrumb from BTS members can unite the world in speculation, joy, and longing. American entertainment media amplified the storm. Teen Vogue US ran a headline declaring, "One like, 8,000 theories. ARMY decodes Jungkook's subtle support for Taehyung." The article explored how ARMY has mastered the art of reading between the lines, turning the smallest of gestures into a living narrative. BuzzFeed called it a digital love letter disguised as a social media interaction, while Insider remarked, "No celebrity fandom on Earth can turn a single click into a global conversation quite like ARMY, and this time, it's all about Taehyung." The emotional weight of the moment was amplified by the timing. Taehyung, walking the dazzling Parisian runways and attending elite fashion soirees, seemed every bit the lone star in a foreign galaxy. For many fans, Jungkook's felt like a grounding force, as though he was silently telling his bandmate, "You're not walking alone." ARMY translated that energy into countless fan art pieces, many depicting Jungkook watching Taehyung's Paris shows from afar, always present in spirit even if physically absent, and yet, questions swirl endlessly. Was it deliberate? Was it accidental? Did Jungkook quietly unlike once the world noticed? Or was the never there at all, a mirage conjured by ARMY's hungry eyes? The lack of clarity only fuels the myth, making this small action feel larger than life. In a world where every BTS member lives under a microscope, perhaps the ambiguity itself is the gift. It keeps the mystery alive, the bond untouchable, and the story open-ended. Taehyungers now frame this as part of a larger pattern. They recall past moments, Jungkook's lingering gazes at award shows, Taehyung's spontaneous mentions of his bandmate in interviews, and the quiet synchronicities that seem too frequent to be coincidence. To them, the Paris is not isolated, but another thread in a tapestry woven over a decade, one that continues to unravel in front of millions. And so, one hidden gesture has become a cultural flashpoint, proof once again of the power BTS holds even in silence. If Taehyung's Paris trip crowned him as fashion's darling, then Jungkook's subtle support crowned him as the unseen anchor, the quiet witness to his brother's moment of glory, which leaves the question hanging in the air like a Paris night sky. If one can cause this much chaos, what would happen if Jungkook and Taehyung ever chose to show their bond openly, with no secrets, no shadows, and no ambiguity? It didn't take long before American media outlets recognized that the so-called Paris, had grown far beyond fandom chatter. What started as whispers in Taehyung corners of social media soon became a trending topic on X, Instagram, and TikTok, climbing into the top global hashtags within just a few hours. Suddenly, mainstream entertainment reporters were asking the same question ARMY had been dissecting all night. Did Jungkook just secretly support Taehyung in Paris?